Hi, friends. It's Leslie. Happy Friday, February 8th, 2019. And it is really early in the morning. I haven't even had my coffee yet, but I wanted to just jump on and offer some words of encouragement and also talk about reselling full time. I was on Facebook. Yes, I shouldn't be on Facebook. Um, I have like a routine that just before I get into bed, I go through all social media and just kind of catch up a little bit, and that keeps me off of it like all day. Instagram is one of the things I am on a lot, but that's just because I'm posting and really interacting. Facebook is a little bit more too social for me sometimes, so I am a part of a few groups, so I go in every day, just kind of answer some questions and talk to some people. And it was a person in one of the groups asking about how to become full time and what are some of the expectations. That is really an open ended question because it's different for everyone. Um, it depends on what you want to get out of it. And it was specifically geared toward Poshmark. I can't answer all your questions, but I can kind of give you an idea because I am a full time seller. I'm selling on a couple platforms. And if you've seen a couple of my other videos, especially the one that is specifically geared to what you need to do before you consider becoming full time, and this is kind of like a follow up because it's basically now you've done it. Now you're full time. You took the leap. What comes next? And so you go to sleep the day last night and you wake up this morning and now you're a full time seller. You've left your job. You've been doing this part time. It was fun. Now the real work begins. Are you crazy? Have you done something crazy? Are you, I don't even know what I could possibly say to you. It is real life. The real life has begun, and it's going to be sacrifices, and it's going to be things that you have to give up. It's going to be things that you have to do more that you were doing before because as a part-time reseller, yes, you did work a full-time job and you kind of had a routine and you knew what you were supposed to do. As a part-time reseller or as a hobbyist, you were just going out looking for some cutesy things. You cleaned out your closet. You got some stuff maybe from some friends who were like, oh, can you sell this for me? But now you're full-time. This is your income. Your livelihood is based upon this. What do? You do the same things as you were doing, but you up your game. And you're going to sacrifice some things. I can tell you for me, I worked like crazy. In April will be a year from the time that I made a decision to become full time. And one thing I can tell you, I gained 35 pounds. Like before I became a full time seller, I had just lost 25 pounds on Weight Watchers. But I jumped right in and I was eating, sleeping, drinking, dreaming full time because I wanted to live a stress free life. And not to say that it's not stressful, being a full time seller is less stress because I make my own rules. I don't have to answer to anyone. I do, in a sense, answer to my customers, but hopefully I'm providing the same customer service that I've provided the whole time that I've basically been a person, being a cook, being a baker, running school cafes, running a couple small restaurants, running my own dessert business, running a crochet design business. I've always answered to the customers. And so hopefully I've continued to give that customer service. So basically, what I wanted to say is to become a full time reseller or anyone full time in a business is just really what you put in. What you put in is what you're going to get out. You've heard that before, and it's really the truth. If you put in long hours, dedication, sweat, tears, sacrificing some things, you can do it. In the beginning, you're going to have to give up a lot. If you're used to going on vacations and, seeing family on the weekend and going out with friends during the week, you may have to give that up because before you had a full time job again, and it was basically 9 to 5 or whatever your hours were, and that was consistent. And you knew when you went to work, You would have a guaranteed income. As a full-time reseller, you have to put in the hours to make the money, and you're going to have to give some stuff up. I gave up working out and doing things. Now I'm back on track, eating right and starting to work out again. I had a routine. I had muscle tone. Now I have like this 3 layer belly, but it's worth it to me because I don't have as much stress as I did when I was working a job. I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't really have to like keep my mouth shut about things that bothered me, people doing dishonest things or anything like that. Now, as a person who will be 50 years old this summer, I'm free, and so it's up to me to decide what I'm going to do. So the question the person had yesterday on Facebook, it was really open ended. It was like, what routine does a full time seller have to have in order to be able to leave their job? What do you need to do to be able to leave your job to become a full time seller? Basically, what it is. And people were throwing out things, suggestions, and none of them were full time. I did comment that I was a full time seller, and I do really decent. I always talk about having a saving plan because I save first. You can't just walk away and not have some money put aside as a cushion. And I commented that I gave up dental insurance, but my husband has medical insurance. So there's some sacrifices that I made, but they weren't crazy sacrifices. And then the other thing is people were saying, oh, you have to, list and follow and source and repeat. Yes, you do have to do those things, but you also have to really come up with a plan, like I talked about. Like sit down and really come up with a calendar. Try to follow the calendar. Don't just go out and buy and buy and buy and list and list and list. Look at your closet now from day one and sit and determine what it is you want it to look like, what the aesthetics of it should be like. Do you have a theme? Are you boho? Are you vintage? Or are you just selling clothes and they're just really nice, good quality, nice prices? Start from there. Now you're a business. Do you want to create a logo? Do you want to ask Poshmark if they'll change your name? And if it's not Poshmark, it could be Mercari, it could be eBay, it could be any reselling platform. But you really need to sit down now, because if you're full time, it's really your business, and you want it to look like a business. You don't want it to look just like something that's thrown together. You want to know that the people who come and buy from you are looking at a quality business, a quality storefront. Just consider the storefront. The platform is already in place, but now it's your storefront, and you have to run it like a business owner. So what are you going to do? What is your plan to become a full-time reseller? You can ask people questions, but in the end, you have to decide what it is you're going to do. How many hours are you going to put in? Because you're not full-time if you're only putting in 30 hours. Now, and I'm talking about in the beginning, because you'll see people, making videos and they're making good money, and now they're traveling. But in the beginning, they had to put in the work. They had to put in the hours. They sacrificed a lot. I've seen different people talk about how they lost touch with friends and they couldn't go out anymore. They barely, got dressed in the morning, because it's almost like having a new baby. It's no sleep. That baby's continually crying. You don't get a chance to change your clothes. You barely get a chance to take a shower. And it's like that. It's real life. Don't look at the glamour of the things that you see the other people are doing. It's hard work. You're going to work more for yourself. You're going to lose sleep. And that's if you want to be successful. If you just, again, if you have, if you're going full time and you have, like, you're depending on, you are, like, you have a spouse, and you're like, oh, I'm, just want to make a little bit of money. It's nothing wrong with that. I'm not like talking about anyone. I'm just giving you an example. So you might not have to really dig deep, but there are people who are trying to get away from a depressing type of job that's pulling them down, and they want to find a way to get out. and make decisions and be free on their own. So in order to do that, you got to get in there, jump in with both feet, and work hard, like grind. The job that I left, that was my last job, because I've worked plenty of jobs since I was 14 years old. Again, I'll be 50. But the last job, I worked 30 hours a week. Um, I was a supervisor. Before that, I worked for the company, the school district, for 5 years. The 2 years before that, 3 years before that, I was just a general worker. So I come into work, put my hours in, I would help. Of course, I learned everything that I could because that's how I became a supervisor through the district. But I also had 20 years of experience in commercial kitchens. So they took that experience and they even paid me based on the experience. So I made decent money. I had vision and dental insurance. I had summers off, all of the holidays off. My day was over by 1:30, but I still was responsible for ordering all the food. I was responsible for employees. I was responsible for any kind of complaints. Not only did I order the food, I had to put the food away because if the food came after the ladies left for the day, I was responsible for at least making sure everything was in the freezer or the refrigerator or the storage areas for overnight. I had to do meetings. I had to start school days before the other ladies because I had to get my kitchen together. I had to do administrative work. So it was a lot that was starting to stress me out. And I was really getting irritated with that. And so I rather work for myself and work 80 hours a week. Some weeks I work 80 hours a week, just up figuring out some things that I can do to really get the business going. But again, after I've said all that, I know I talk a lot. Um, I just really want you to just have your eyes open because it is going to be an eye opener in terms of working for yourself full time. Put in the work. That's all you have to do. Create a schedule. So if you decide to leave your job and you've come up with a plan, you've put in your letter of resignation, the time comes 2 weeks later, you go to sleep on a Friday, you say, I'm going to start on a Monday, you enjoy Saturday and Sunday, Monday you start. Friday, what you should do is you sit down and you come up with a calendar, just a basic calendar of how you want your week to go. Pick a day for sourcing, a day for taking photographs and steaming and all of that. Take a day for yourself. If you're not going to do a whole day, do a half day. I don't do whole days. I do half days. And because I am full time, I can spend time with my family. I started off with 6 children in a home. I only have 2, but the youngest is 16, so I don't have the same type of running around. She has a driver's license. I have my husband. He is also a reseller. He has a clean out business. He does the flea market. He's constantly going. So I don't have the responsibility of having to worry about children and things like that. So my schedule is a little different. I choose the work because I want to stay busy during the day. So Mondays are kind of like half days. I get up, my sales, I do all my shipping, and I can chill for the rest of the day if I want to. But I do choose to share, catch up on books, watch TV. Wednesday is also like a day off for me. A lot of times I like to have breakfast or lunch with my husband, so that's the freedom of it. We can just get up and go, and when we have breakfast and lunch, then we source together. Tuesdays is the days that I go sourcing. Here in Delaware, there's a lot of $2 Tuesdays. There's a lot of, if you're a Perks member, you use your card, and it's like 40% off. My husband is a veteran, and also he's a senior citizen, so we get those discounts. It used to just be Wednesday. Now they do it every single day. So I have the opportunity to source Tuesday. Thursdays, once a month, maybe every 6 weeks, I go to the bins. It's time for me to go again. So next week I'll probably go to the bins, and I buy enough stuff to spread out. And I also buy different items to sell on different platforms. Hard goods for Macari or vintage items. I don't sell the same things on Macari that I sell on Poshmark. That's another video. And then Fridays are my days for shopping. I go food shopping, all the things that I need to do for the household. Saturday and Sunday is work day for me. I work unless it's somewhere we're going. If we're on vacation, During Christmas break, my son came home. He's in the Army, and he was home for 2 weeks. So I tried to spend time. My children were coming in, and my granddaughter were coming in, and so I would, spend some time with them. But for the most part, I was working, and I work a lot just because I can, and because I want to be successful. And I have some other platforms and different things that I'm trying to do. But again, after all that said, just really think about what you want to do. It's going to be hard work. It's not going to be easy. You can listen to other people. You can look at videos to get ideas, but it basically comes down to you deciding what you want to do for yourself. If this video was helpful for you, give me a thumbs up. I would love more subscribers. Tell your friends about me. I'm just a regular person, Leslie from Philly, now living in Delaware. I'm 49 years old. I have 5 children. I'm married. A man had 5, so we're a blended family of 10. Again, we have 2 girls that are home. One is 21, one is 16. Everyone else is out of the house. So I have the freedom to just be a full-time seller. And if you have any questions, if you can relate, if you're a person who is ready to leave their position and they don't know where to start, send me a message, send me a DM on Instagram. I'll leave my links in the bottom. If you want to know more about me, if you want some more videos like this, if you need some advice, again, send me a DM. I'm happy to answer. Leave me a comment. And thank you again for watching my videos. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend.